Hey Village Church, Daniel Simpson here for Monday, November the 16th, back with a devotional from the book of Exodus. Here we are again, now in chapter 33, and the whole golden calf thing just happened, so as you've been following along, then you know the story. So Moses was meeting with God on Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. The Israelites decided instead of worshiping God, they would make a golden calf. And worship it instead. So Moses comes down from the mountain. He's furious. God is also angry at the Israelites. The thing we talked about last week was that Moses, God was going to say, hey, I'm going to wipe everybody out. And Moses pleaded with God and said, let's not do that. Please, God, don't destroy your people, the Israelites. And God said, okay, I won't. But, a few more things happen in the rest of the chapter there. I'm skipping ahead to 33 because I thought there was something here for us to talk about today in chapter 33. Let me start in verse 7. I'm going to read a little bit from the NIV Bible. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrances of their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance while the Lord spoke with Moses. So it's almost like there's a prayer chapel, outside of their camp, and they call it the tent of meeting. And so if you wanted to go pray, you could go to the tent and pray. But when Moses went, the cloud comes down and God speaks to Moses. And the people would stand outside their homes, their tent homes, and worship while God spoke to Moses. That's pretty cool. Whenever the people saw the pillar, they stood and worshipped. Verse 11, the Lord would speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks with his friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Wow. Okay, verse 12. Moses said to the Lord, you have been telling me, lead these people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, I will know you by name, and you have found favor with me. If you are pleased with me, teach me your ways, so that I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people. The Lord replied, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. So in verse 12, I was like, who will go with me? And I was wondering, what is that about? My Bible has some footnotes that say, that it was about that particular verse is Moses asking, will an angel be going with us in the pillar of cloud, and the fire by night? Or will that be you, God? Is that going to be your presence? Or will it just be an angel? And God is saying, no, it's going to be me. He said, my presence will go with you in verse 14. Verse 15, then Moses said to him, if your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. Moses is like, listen, if it's not you, I don't even want to go anywhere. I don't want to leave your presence. Okay. Verse 17, the Lord said to Moses, I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you and I know you by name. Then Moses said, now show me your glory. The Lord said, I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But, he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. Then the Lord said, there's a place near me where you may stand on a rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft in the rock, and I will cover you with my hand until I have passed. Then I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. So this is interesting, a story about God and Moses' conversation here. I love that it says, when Moses would go into the tent of meeting, that Moses and God would talk like friends talk. You know, if you ever go have a conversation with your buddy, I mean, you're talking about your day, what's been going on this week, or how you been, what's happening with work. You're shooting the breeze, and you're talking like friends talk. And the Bible kind of gives us the idea that Moses met with God often, and they talked. Like friends talk to each other. I thought that's cool, and I think that we could still have those kind of conversations with the Lord. We don't have to pray that formal, prayer every time. We can talk to God in a conversational tone. Lord, I'm feeling sad about this, or God, here's the things I'm concerned about, or we can be like Moses and say, hey, show me your glory, or God, I want to get to know your plan a little better. Can you let me in on what's going on here? And that's one thing that I really love about this passage, is that if we look at Moses and all the time that he spends with God, in God's presence, I mean, think all the way back. Think back to the burning bush. God and Moses talking at the burning bush. God gives Moses signs and wonders to bring to Pharaoh. Moses then, over the next few months, is constantly in communion with God about the plagues. God is bringing the plagues on Egypt, and God is speaking to Moses and telling him what to say to Pharaoh. And in fact, that was one of God's biggest promises back when he was talking with Moses at the burning bush. Moses says, how do I know this is going to work? Like, if I walk away from here, like, nobody knows who I am. And God said, I will be with you. And so here we are, Moses, in constant communication, it seems like, with God. God is speaking back to Moses. Moses is speaking to the Lord. They're having conversations. God is leading and guiding, and Moses goes and spends 40 days on Mount Sinai with God, in his presence. Or at the tent of meeting, he goes out and has these conversations with the Lord. And still, after all of these things, after all this time with the Lord, after all this time in God's presence, as maybe one of the people that is the closest to the Lord, out of any person in this time, that would be for sure something we would say, like, Moses and God were close. And still here, what does Moses say to the Lord? Teach me your ways. In verse 13, he says, if you are pleased with me, teach me your ways. Wow. He's still inquiring of the Lord. Show me. Teach me. What else does he say? Verse 18, show me your glory. Boy, if there was anyone, I would think, that has seen the glory of the Lord up close, wouldn't it be Moses? But here he's still asking. I love this. I love that Moses, who probably spends more time in close contact and communication with God, is saying, I want to know more. He's saying, show me your glory. Teach me more, God. I want to see you. I want to know you better. Boy, that kind of fervor is what we need in our daily lives, isn't it? To say, okay, Lord, I'm going to turn off all these distractions and all of the noise, which is very loud in our culture and also our social media. Turn that off. I want to know you. I want to know you better. Can you teach me more about you? Can you show me more? Show me your glory, Lord. What an awesome prayer and an awesome request of Moses. I love it, and I'm going to make this my prayer every day. No matter how much time I spend with the Lord, it's not gonna match Moses, who's communing with God face to face like friends speak to each other, and still, I love his thirst for knowledge of God. I love for his thirst for that. And that's my prayer For myself, it's going to be, Lord, show me more about yourself. Reveal yourself to me. I want to see you. I want to know you more. And I hope, Village Church, that will be your prayer as well. That every day we can wake up and we can say, God, today, teach me more. Show me more. I want to know you better. All right. Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.